We are now recording.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Let's get this show on the road.
Before you say anything, prepare to shut the fuck up.
Screw me. I ripped ass at the ATM.
McLovin! Nice!
Sit back, relax, and enjoy irrelevant platitudes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to episode number 71 of Irrelevant Platitudes. We're your hosts, Peter Benici and...
Lil Dazil, bringing you all things irrelevant commentary on dating, relationships, and what was the other thing that we do?
Something. It's fine. I didn't have it there. So
I know.
it was scrolled off.
We've ad-libbed for, 2 years, and we still just don't get it right.
No, you fuck it up.
I love you
almost every
so
week.
much.
And I love you
have
too.
ADHD. I can't remember short-term memory.
But welcome to the podcast this week, guys. Very special guest in the studio with us right now. Sarah, is it Jeavon?
Oh, I love the way you say
Yeah.
that. Say it again.
But how do you say
How
That's
do you
exactly.
say that?
People
Is
say
it-
Jeavon, so I say it's Jeavon.
Is it
Jeavon?
actually Jeavon's?
It's not, but
Yeah.
I
No,
like it
You
is
just
because
like-
there's some French heritage, so
was
I will
good.
take it and I will
Take
say
it.
Jeavon's. Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, my friend. Thank you for coming down all the way from sunny Adelaide. Is it sunny at the moment? It's like Melbourne. I
No,
guess.
yeah, it's like Melbourne.
Yeah, so we've got you on the pod this week. Obviously, you are a specialist men's dating coach. So we've got you here to kind of talk all things dating, your business, how that interacts with the social scene at the moment. And we're just going to have and chat shit, really.
It's going to be great.
That's the main precipice for this interview.
I like that.
We
Talking
actually
shit,
have
that
an
feels good.
intervention.
Yes.
It's actually an intervention. We're bringing you...
For me?
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for that.
That's the whole point of an intervention. Welcome.
So yes, obviously, I know heaps about you because we've obviously spoken quite
But
a bit
our
before we
audience
got
might
you on.
not.
They know nothing.
They know
Exactly. So tell us a bit about the lady behind the brand before we get into all things male dating coaching.
Yes.
But, you know, what do you do? What are you doing here?
Hype yourself up. Give us some
Yeah,
dates.
tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Okay, I like that. Thank you for the intro.
Thank you for the open-winded question
I
with
know.
no direction.
Excellent. Where shall I begin then? Let's go right back to the beginning. I was 5 years old and I imagined I want to be a dating coach for men when I grow up. And
Interesting for a 5-year-old.
yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah,
Says a
what
lot
was
about
I
mum and
going-
dad's relationship.
What was I going through when I was 5? Why did I just think of 5 years old? That's concerning. Can you break that down for me?
That'll take longer time than you thought.
Yeah, well, it all started a few years ago when I went over to LA, actually, and I ended up meeting the old crew of RSD.
Yeah, Real Social Dynamics for everyone playing at home.
Yes.
It's an old dating company that I think they're still around.
Well, they are. They just, I think, go under a different name. I'm not quite
Oh,
sure.
they renamed.
I'm not really sure. I think everyone will know them, the ones that really
Yeah.
do know them as RSD.
Yes.
But yeah, I went over there after a breakup and was actually following my acting career, which I've been doing since I was 13 years old, and signed up
That's
as a
fucking
manager.
cool as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was going down that pathway. I thought, why not? And that's when I met Nick Coe, who was the CEO of RSD at the time, and we
Yeah.
got chatting at, Penthouse Party at the W, which you've just informed me.
It's like that's the
yeah.
lair.
The lair, and I had no idea, so I was in the lair, the networking lair. It felt like a networking
You're in the
lair.
midst of it.
Pretty much.
We met Gene Simmons' son there
How random.
downstairs, and I saw Stevie Wonder play live.
That is...
Yep.
It's just so random.
Right.
And
of all
one of
things.
your friends met a lady who is now married to the lead singer of Sum 41.
Oh,
So if you ever want to
to
fuck with him, play Sum 41. He hates the music now.
I'm not going to do that. That's rude.
You don't want to get on his bad side.
No, I would like to stay on good terms. Thank you.
So you're at the W amongst all these dudes,
Yeah,
and you're just having a good time. And you
Yeah,
kinda,
no, I think we're at someone's birthday party or some sort
Yeah.
of, mastermind networking.
Was it at
group.
Dre's upstairs or was it downstairs in the
It was
piano bar?
upstairs in someone's apartment. Yeah.
Oh, no
Yeah,
shit.
there was a lot of masterminds. I started hosting masterminds when I was in LA. Like, we started just connecting people.
That's so
We
Yeah.
became that incubator for creatives and business people and actors and just all of it. So I was really, I loved it. Like I thrived in LA in terms of networking. And when I was offered this position to travel around the world at 21, I was like, why the fuck would I say no to that?
Absolutely.
Because that's one thing that threw
a huge
me.
opportunity for a career.
Yeah. So I'm
That's
forever
young
grateful for Nick for even offering me that. And then for me to just say, I said yes and I worked the rest out later, which I thought was a great approach and has got me to where I am today, really.
Like it's working fine for now.
Yeah. Until I realized, oh, okay, I've got to get in a plane and then fly to all these different places.
Yuck.
Like Nick just had an
At
Excel
21.
spreadsheet of the
I
next
love
2
that
years of my life. Like you're going to Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth, New Zealand, then you're going over to London, then you're going to Germany, then you're going to Scandinavia, and then you're going back to Canada, and then you're going to America. And it was like,
That sounds really overwhelming.
it was very overwhelming.
But for so organized, how nice.
Yes, yeah, he was very. I learned a lot from him. He was a real
Yeah.
bulldog. People describe him as a bulldog, and do you know what? I needed a little bit of bulldog in my life because I was very.
At 21, I could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a leaf in the wind a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into this whole space, and I spent almost 2 years with them, traveling around, developing my confidence, speaking on stage, selling programs.
So you were
on
never
stage.
this confident? I don't believe that for a second. I feel like you had a natural confidence
I do,
for
because
sure.
acting comes out. It's
Yeah,
like a
it does.
mask. It's really easy
It's
to
a
put it on.
character. Sarah the dating coach. You know,
Yeah,
so
true,
if you go on a
actually.
date with me, I'm very different. I'm like, oh, really? You know, I don't want to be a bad bitch like coach on a date, but
That's fair.
I did. I built the confidence of the
Yeah.
character, if you will.
Absolutely.
And I had to learn what those guys were teaching. And, you know, you're taking men out to the streets, to bars and clubs to pick up women. Like, you know, I'm walking into their world. It's a men's world. Men coaching men how to pick up women. So I was the only female coach, one of the only women in the company. So it was very overwhelming in many ways, and it was like scary. Like I had to think on my feet and just do it. There was not enough time to really overthink it at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just kind of hit the ground running.
100%.
I've got a little note here too. When I was Googling stuff and like looking for stuff, what do you mean you won the SAS Australian show?
Yeah, like tell us, please.
Because I knew that TV show was on, and I looked at it because it's like a fucking interesting show.
Yeah, it is.
So, how are you a superhuman athlete as well? Is what I want to fucking find out.
Steroids, obviously.
Yeah.
Steroids.
Who did I get it from? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole life I played sport, but
Yeah.
I feel like the series, the Everyday Aussies series of SAS went under the radar because it was straight after one of the celebrities won.
Okay.
So it is
Yeah.
a surprising fact.
There
And
you
people are
go,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, what? That
Yeah.
show? Yeah, that one, Ant Middleton.
When
Yes.
you saw the notes, you're like, yes, motherfucker. I was in. Yeah.
I know, I struggle to talk about it, but I'm so proud of it. Like, honestly, it was one of those reality shows that really stood out to me. I watched the first season and I was like, oh my God, wonder if I can do that. Like, what will happen if I do that? You know, when will I break? Like, what will they find out about me? And I really felt like all of the DS, like on the team, they're genuine guys, but I mean, it's like Tony Robbins on steroids. Like, you know, that like it's transformational in a really powerful way.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know, like, what am I made of? Am I going to fail that, or how will it go? So to actually win that and have them say it, I remember when they announced it and I was standing there and I'm like, wait, did they say we just passed or that we're the ones that didn't pass? Like, it was just a real shock moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably one of the most incredible moments of my life.
And that was only in 2021.
Amazing.
That was so you would have filmed that in 2020 COVID-ish?
Shit, through COVID too.
Yeah.
That would have been a time.
Yeah, it was. It was so random. Again, I like applied for. I was sitting in bed 10:30 at night. I'm like, ooh,
This sounds good to me.
and then it all happened so quick. You know, I had 2 weeks of training. I don't know anything about the military. I don't know anything. I've got to carry a pack and wear these boots and shit. Like, it was full on. You know, I freaked out a bit, and it was scary as fuck. Like, the first day, and Middleton just yelled at me. I needed to pee. It had been 3 hours. The producers are like, "You're not going to start yet." I'm like, "Okay, can I take my pants off? I'm really hot, and I need to pee at some point." And the next minute, you know, you're hooded up for the next 3 hours, and Ant Middleton's like, "Shut the fuck up, you little arrogant cunt." And I'm like, I think I peed my pants.
Understandably so.
Yeah, so that was the start of that. But
So it was pretty full on.
it was so full on. No
Oh,
one can
Jesus.
prepare you for that. I don't care
Yeah.
whether people think it's a TV show. When you're on it, like,
It's still intense,
it
absolutely.
is full on. And
Jesus, man.
it is all of those exercises. If they're playing characters, my goodness, they have it down pat.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are brutal. Like, some
But
of those
they
guys,
were military dudes, I'm guessing.
ex-special
But
forces.
they have to learn
Okay.
and they have
Yeah.
to train in that specific way. So it is put on to some degree, but it's still very much present.
Yeah, and you know, you can see when they flick on, like, they're the most caring, compassionate men.
Until-
But they know that they went through that, and in order for you to really become that person,
The discipline.
they have to do it too. So that's why they're so harsh.
That's fucking insane.
That's so cool though, as well. Good. So props.
Thank you. I
You're a
appreciate
fucking
that.
champion in our midst, team. Not only is she a dating coach, but she fucking. So, what sports did you play as a kid?
Tennis
Yeah.
was the main one I did. Went to a tennis academy for a few years. Table tennis nationally.
That's cool. Table tennis. All right.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Went up against the big players. Yeah, 3 meters back on the table. Bam, bam, bam. So I can really thank my brother for that.
Yeah.
Years of late nights at home playing table tennis, and then netball and
And that preps you to
soccer
do
and hockey.
fucking
you
intense
played heaps of
SAS
sports,
military based training. That's so
I thank my
fucking
brother
good.
Nick Jeavon. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Jeavon's family, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. No,
So-
I'm very grateful.
You don't have that Adelaide twang.
What
in
is
your
the
voice.
Adelaide twang? I'm
So
sorry.
it's-
What is
yeah.
that?
Okay,
So-
personally, this is on him. I have no
Yeah, that's fine.
observations on
'Cause-
Adelaide twang.
So because I've got quite a few friends that live in Adelaide,
Okay.
and it's there's certain words and certain inflexes. Is that the word? When you talk up, it's an inflection.
Intonation.
Inflection.
yeah.
And intonation.
Yeah. That you have none of that.
Wow.
So have you always been an Adelaide human being or no?
I have.
Really? And you just
I mean, you
I-
say I have, and there's an
I
inflection
have.
going up.
No, that-
Interesting.
Is that
I'll
what
tell
you
you if it
mean?
comes out. I'll tell you when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm so when I saw that in the notes, I'm like, what does that mean?
But you
Yeah.
travel as
Twang.
well a lot, which I
Yeah.
think would also come into the picture with how it affects your vocalizations. And
Yeah, and I think being in LA for ages too, you
Yes.
probably have a more standardized Aussie accent too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird
So
when
that's-
you're abroad for a long time because
Yeah.
you do pick up a different way of saying things because otherwise people don't understand you.
Yeah.
Like perfect, like I would just
Yeah.
automatically.
like what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would order a coffee, and then when I left my name, I'd be like Peter, and they'd be like Ben. I'm like Peter, and like, oh, okay, like fuck off. That was the same
Yeah,
word.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But you know who we should ask? Sean to ask because he picked up that I wasn't a Melbourner. I reckon he
Yeah.
would
Where are
be
you
able to
from?
Sydney. But
I wouldn't have. I see. I'd have no clue. I'm not good at picking
it's
up on
the
that.
Yeah.
people from the outside world
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be able to, because Aussies sometimes have the ability to. Queenslanders have a very distinct accent. I'm sidetracking.
They do.
Well, anyway,
No,
I'm
but they
taking
do.
that
They
as a
really do.
compliment. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
good.
it is.
Fuck
It is.
us.
Yeah.
You've got a very neutral accent.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's not like you can't really pick where you're from.
Yeah, you're not insufferable,
Yeah,
you know?
that's- No, people from Adelaide are actually quite. I've got a lot of friends from
I
Adelaide.
know, we just hate the Sydney girls.
People from Sydney are pieces of shit.
Exactly.
That's
Like,
personal
There's a
reasons.
bias there.
Melbourne
That's-
people have a good opinion on the different accents, dialects in Australia.
You're like-
we don't talk about this to
maybe-
this extent.
You're like, maybe it's you guys. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, sorry. We're a little bit too wanky and cultured.
That's it.
100%.
100%.
But all right, so this is one that we ask most people on the pod too. How would your mates describe you in three words?
Yeah.
Playful.
Mhm.
A little stubborn. Sprinkle of stubbornness, I'd say.
Is that hyphenated as one word? A
Stubbornness.
little stubborn.
A little stubborn. Yeah.
I don't strike you as being super stubborn.
Yeah. We've only just met.
No, I know.
No,
yeah,
but
fair.
like passionate. You know, I'd say, yeah, playful, stubborn, passionate, like very passionate, you know, like that
Yeah.
energy, I think,
That tracks.
comes from just, I'm just
Yeah.
really, curious about the world and I get really
Yeah.
excited. Like that's where the playfulness is. So,
You've got that honest engagement as well. Like you can
it's
tell
very
when people
genuine.
like lean into stuff, and especially with acting and whatnot, they can be like super, super fake.
yeah.
You
And
can
having
also
been
tell
around
between
acting
it.
people quite a bit, you're like, all right, you don't have to turn it on now, it's fine. But
Yeah.
you don't have that.
It's very
which is
genuine.
really
I agree
cool.
with you because
Yeah.
being in that acting world is,
Yeah.
you know, you go to an audition and you can tell people are really expressing themselves. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
LA
there
in
is-
general,
yeah.
like it's just everyone's like extra, like all the
Yeah.
time. You're like, dude, just fucking,
Yeah.
please don't.
Yeah.
Please
So,
fucking don't.
I think the stubbornness is maybe, you know, I'm a sensitive soul as well. Like,
Okay.
I don't think it's kind of, I don't know.
You
like
hide that very well.
A wine, like an under, what am I trying to
Underdog?
say? An undertone?
Headstrong?
No, like a perfume, there's an undertone
Yeah.
of like sensitivity, but I feel like
Okay.
I'm very good on the outside. You won't see that until once you really get to know
Once you
me.
break through, then
Right.
you're a
And
sensitive
then you-
little marshmallow.
Like, you know, before
Yeah.
you were saying you get, you know, sometimes get personally offended by certain outcomes of things.
Actually,
Don't know
you
if you
know
want to
what?
share that.
She's
but
a racist, guys.
No,
all right?
not that one. Oh,
I'm kidding.
Not that one.
I'm
Talk about the
totally
other
kidding.
About the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So there's that where
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
take
yeah,
things
yeah.
really personally when
I
I'm
was
like,
just talking about a shit interview that we had. That,
Yeah.
no, for
Yeah.
context.
Yeah.
The guys need context. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
very
just
open
straight
book
out,
with
you
that sort of
go,
stuff.
race. I'm like,
Yeah. No, and they also know I call everyone racist, especially
really
do. Okay,
girls
good.
get really uncomfortable when you call them a racist.
Yeah, look
That's
at me.
because
I'm
we're
like,
aggressive
quivering.
and we're like, please, we're
Is this a
trying
threat?
to beat the
Is it?
system.
freeze.
Help. SOS.
Like I'm the exact opposite. But I get so the guys are always really curious. Even though our audience splits 50-50, the guys tend to ask more of these sorts of questions. But your personal love life thus far.
Thus
Men
far.
ask that
So
or
big
women?
relation.
Yeah,
men,
no, men
men.
are always
They're
curious
always
to hear.
yeah.
Wow, about just my history of
So
love.
key relationships and current status
Yep.
is a big one.
Well,
So how's your dating life been up until this point?
True. Yeah.
yeah, like a roller coaster, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And I want to lead with this because I feel like a lot of men bring this up in the dating world.
Yeah.
My first 3 boyfriends were all shorter than me.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Cool.
It's
We
a
like
short
that.
king thing.
The short, well,
Yeah.
yeah, they are.
But you'd be what, 5'10"?
It was never an issue for me. So since being in the dating
Yeah.
space, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm short," or like lie about their height
Yeah.
and stuff.
But
I'm like,
that means fuck all at the end of the day if you're a quality dude.
well, that's the thing. So anyway, I don't know why I felt the urge to open with that.
That's a really good point,
good
though.
opener,
Yeah.
Because look, it does as a short guy, you do see like my first girlfriend was 5'10".
Same
and-
height as me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you. It's not like it's a massive problem, but like we had no shit. We were at the casino once, and some little fucking arrogant hog bitch was like, "You're too." I can say it. I'm brown. She was like, "You're too tall for him," and then like I'm not an aggressive person at all. I know that's
You're
Until-
all bark,
Yeah.
no bite, though.
yeah, no, but I lost it. I was like,
Oh.
"What the fuck is your problem?" Blah blah. Because she was like, you know, the little there's that food court, and there's a little bit in the corner.
Mhm.
She kind of fired it off from like nowhere,
Yeah.
and Sarah's like, "Can't." Her name was Sarah also.
It was me.
Was like, yeah, we used to
Sarah
date.
all along.
And she was like, you know, calm down, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, fuck her, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then she pulled me aside. She goes, I actually think she was jealous. Just let it go. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, it happens a lot because she dated shorter guys
Yeah.
being tall in the
Yeah, yeah,
past.
yeah.
She's like, it's usually when they're interested in the guy, they'll say something out loud. And that was a big thing for me. I was like, oh,
Interesting,
okay. Because like we discussed before, I take that all on as being like a me thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm the short guy. It's my problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing that dudes need to understand. It's not usually. There was a period where I dated women that were always taller than me.
Mm.
Because when you're shorter, there's a lot of people that are taller than you.
I'll
Do you know
tell
what I
you
mean?
the one big problem with it.
People who have the problem with it.
No, I'll tell you, it's just the bed, like the feet going off the end of the bed because you want to lie on their chest, so your feet get cold. That's it.
You
I
just
have
need a bigger
never
bed, man. That's all. That's an easy fix.
I guess I'm a short person, so I can't actually
Yeah.
relate
I
to
know.
that. But like, I sleep in fetal position, so I feel like that's also not a problem.
But like, you know, if you lie on their chest, you have to
Yeah.
wriggle down the bed a bit. Like my
'Cause you've
feet
got-
would just always drop
Dudes
off.
have
me.
different lying positions.
I
You
mean-
can lie quite low as a shorter
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Because it even happens. Amy's like 5'4". And then even still, I'm like, oh, I've got to move up a bit, even at her height, because it drops too far
5'4".
down. Yeah, she's tiny.
Wow.
She'd be
Very
like
short.
5'5", but
Because
yeah,
I'm
she's tiny.
5'3".
It's
What
the
are
best.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa.
163.5
That's
centimeters
pretty
to be
good.
exact.
Yeah, like people don't talk about the, you know, you sometimes feel a bit awkward being so tall as well.
You
Like,
get-
anyway.
But how good is
You
it
know
just,
what?
like,
But it's-
digressed,
the
but yeah.
It's
proportion,
almost
though,
that
is always
connection
great.
Yeah.
and that understanding.
Mm.
Tall, and I was trying to explain this to people. I'm
Yeah.
like, tall girls and short guys have the same issues dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that kind of is the thing if you're not, and
It
I think
works
for
well.
guys, if you don't outwardly show that as an issue, that's kind of attractive too. You're like, he is a short guy, but he doesn't let it bother him.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
make
It's like
it a
an
big
easy
thing.
win for you as a dude.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it does. crop
Yeah,
up.
I agree with you. So anyway, you know, first relationships, I don't know, very
Yeah.
country. I grew up in the hills, so,
Okay.
you know, a little bit country, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it started. I feel like when I became sexually active, I had a lot of adventures. You know, I had my first foursome when I was 17. Like, you know, it was
Fucking hell, man. Yeah. Jesus
and
Christ.
you know, we always still had
I have sound effects. I didn't tell you I have sound effects. That'll happen.
someone screaming outside.
That's Sasha Grey.
Yeah, and always, I don't know, kind of not an open door policy. I don't even know how
Yeah.
my life started like that, but house parties and, you know, you'd
Yeah.
be having sex in the same room as
Especially in
somebody
the
else.
country too, there's always going to be
Yeah.
that because we had the same thing.
Okay,
in the
good. I'm not
mountains.
alone. I felt weird there for a moment, but
No.
okay.
Mountains culture is the same as well.
Where?
Blue Mountains.
Blue Mountains, yeah.
Any small town that's sort of like a country but not necessarily like a country. All
Yeah.
you have to do is partying, drugs, sex,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
There you
'Cause there's
go.
nothing else
That's
to
one
do.
thing
Bob's
that's
your
super
uncle.
important to point out too, because like you look at city dwelling and it's supposed to be more multicultural and more
Yeah.
open,
Mm.
but then you do find like, 'cause I got heaps of friends from the country, right?
Yeah.
That's technically way more progressive, especially like foursomes at 17.
Oh no, but they shun that and then they still do it.
Yeah, it
It's
makes it
like
more
a
taboo.
weird
It's
Yeah,
hot
that's
because you
true.
can't.
hypocrisy thing.
Anyway, I never got that, so you know, I think my parents were supportive, and not that
Of
they
the
knew.
foursome?
I don't think
Hey
they.
guys,
I
I
don't
just
think they.
letting you know,
I
had
don't
a
think they
foursome.
knew what was going on. To be honest, guys, they're probably like, listen.
Mr. Siobhan's like,
If my
go,
parents-
Sarah.
They're like, what, Sarah? We had no idea. We thought you were an angel.
Really? I
no,
thought it would
I-
be more like the French, we are so proud of you for having extra lovers.
Yes,
yeah?
no, they're more of the pommy sort
Oh,
of.
okay.
Yeah.
You fucking
Birmingham.
flag.
Yeah, pretty much. And I do have that in me, the mongrel, as my father would say. So I think, that helped shape me. And I've always been the same. So I've always been quite open, sexually and with my relationships.
Yep.
And so, that's kind of shaped the arc of most of my relationships have been semi-open.
Longer relationships or shorter relationships?
Longer ones, yeah. Like my first long one, I was 16 years old. We were, we had a foursome. So, I mean, that's open, right?
Yeah.
And then a little bit later on, 2.5 years, I was with someone. We were open as well. And my current one as well, we explore it. And I say explore because there's no, black and white answer to it. I think there's as a man I recently met described it, every couple has their own playbook and you create it. You can't say, well, this is what works. Everyone should do this. It's like, well, you've got two very individual people. Like, you have to work out what
different needs and things.
That's really fucking insightful.
Absolutely.
So now I'm here. So there's been a couple of big relationships and a lot of playing in between and flings and stuff, which I think are just as important.
Yep.
And now I've been with my current partner for 3.5 years almost.
Beautiful.
Hey.
Nice.
Hey, we shouldn't celebrate the time. It's the quality of the relationship.
Agreed, but I
celebrate
think the
both.
longevity also
fucking oath.
highlights the fact that it's maintained, even though,
Sometimes,
even with the fact that it's
She's like, no.
Sorry, I just recently watched
that,
Esther Perel, everyone cheered when she said something about being with someone for
And
10
she's like,
years.
fuck
It's like,
yeah.
well, why do we applaud that? Why do we applaud the time? So.
I think because it shows a level of commitment and continuity, with the fact that you're trying to grow and evolve with person. Like for me, longevity, I'm like, that is consistency, it's reliability,
Just get pumped,
and
bro.
it's
It's good.
adaptability.
Or you've been complacent for years. No, sorry.
Well, no,
That's a big one. That is a massive one.
No, dude,
That's a
we've
big one.
spoken about that so many
Have
times.
you? I love
People
that.
fall
Yeah.
complacent in
Yeah.
relationships the longer that they're in them. So it makes sense.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think celebration that you're committed, growth. But you
But
do have
also
to.
be
You got
adaptive.
to. You got to keep an eye on that and go, oh, are we falling into that? So
Yeah.
a healthy, realistic approach.
100%.
That was a big thing for me because when I love, it's like kind of an indefinite thing. So I do that kind of gauging first. But you find with my partners anyway, that's happened. And I'm like, fuck, mate, if this happened, you should have just been honest about it and we could have snipped this.
And we could work through that.
Because it's usually the person that can kind of love unconditionally and will always work through that problem that ends up fucked. Like you've been in like a 7-year relationship that really should have lasted 2.5.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
if they were being honest. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very fucking insightful. That's why we got you here, man. That's fantastic.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Okay, so any challenges in dating given your current
Good
workspace?
question.
This is prior, obviously, to your current relationship, or do you use it as like a filter for the humans that have no chance? So being a dating coach, right? You're instantaneously. I feel like they're probably quieter, but when they get out and kind of vibing and stuff, would dudes be like constantly kind of like trying to shift and be like, "Hey, hot Australian girl, all this stuff that you just saw me learn, how you doing?" Like, that would be weird.
Oh, like when I was working and traveling.
Does that
like
happen? Like, does that happen a lot? Given like where you work, do you have a lot of dudes kind of misplace?
I think the weirdest one I've ever had is matching with someone on Tinder in Montreal, and then we caught up and came back to my apartment.
Yeah.
And then after chilling out for an hour or so, he then says, "I actually already."
My
know.
man.
He's like, "I actually already know you." I'm like,
No way.
Red flag.
So you
Like,
coached him at some point.
You didn't think to say that before,
Yeah.
like while we were messaging.
Why would they do that though? Because they would end up shooting the shot.
I know, but it was so weird, and I think the actor in me, I was like, just get through this. He could be a killer, like a
Serial killer.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
You always gotta prepare.
He wasn't. Like, I feel like I was good at reading people, but anyway, I thought that's really weird, dude. Like, just tell me.
Yeah.
And just give
And
me
that's chill.
Yeah. So I had a few like weird encounters like that where I'm like, maybe
Mm.
they know me and they're just not saying it. So I was a little on
Ooh.
edge sometimes dating.
So it does impact it a bit.
I
You're like,
think
is this
so.
a genuine connection?
A little
or-
bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's shit.
Yeah.
That is shit. I guess from the male dating coach perspective, they don't really give a shit. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a benefit that like, if they
Well,
actually
that's the
like me
thing.
and I'm a dating
Yeah.
coach, that's a plus.
Yeah.
Whereas with you have to filter it a bit more.
Yeah, so it came up a bit, but I wouldn't say it wasn't a huge challenge for me, but just weird things like that. And I'm like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to be like that, please.
Do you think it would have been better for him to say it earlier?
I think so, because I feel
Did it kind of fuck things up?
It's not the fact that he knew me; it's the fact that he didn't tell me, and it's the
Yeah.
lying.
It's
and
the
so
omission. I
it's the-
hate
it's
fucking
the,
omission.
now I can't trust you. because of what you just did.
Yeah.
Really?
But we still had sex, and then I gave him advice afterwards.
Here's some pro tips.
When I burn the boats, I go, fuck it, I'm gonna give this guy advice. Like, you fuck like a porn star, but you got no soul, man. Like,
I love that. Can
yeah,
I just feedback is so crucial.
and he actually had a really great transformation, you know.
Oh,
And
that's good.
then he gave
He had a really good glow up. He's actually now in a long term
did.
relationship where he's been really faithful.
I was
going to
say, could have gone one of two ways. He could have just been like, that's all I need, to be honest. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Because the male ego is like, as long as that's fine, I'm fine.
Yeah, I think he just felt like I saw him, you know, that whole feeling. And
Yeah.
and it was good because, yeah, you know, I feel like my approach, I'm like, how can I make this situation less weird? Because he made it weird. I'm
He
like,
did.
well, you know what? This is my night off. I'm coaching. I'm drained a lot of the time. My date nights are for me to just let off some steam.
I understand.
And you're
that.
here already, and you're relatively attractive, so I'm just gonna
Why
stick
not?
with this.
Yeah. I'm already halfway there. Might as well.
Well, exactly. So
And I think your judge of character too, like you pointed out, is you could probably catch a lot of that beforehand.
yes.
So it does. That would probably make things a lot easier for you. I think you can kind of get the vibes if people are.
Yeah, I feel very blessed. I haven't had too many scary encounters with men. Yeah, I've only had a few.
Being 5'10" probably helps.
Yeah,
you could probably
does it?
bench press most of the dudes that were like.
Oh God, I don't want to do that. Yeah,
No,
but
I'm
anyway,
kidding.
and the only
I'm
other one
totally
that's
Wear
joking.
some heels and stuff.
yeah,
There's-
but it's true. But when I feel like I mess up judging someone's character, I think, wow, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
And now you're here, and I'm like, you are nothing like the guy I
Yeah.
thought I was talking to. So it's only happened a few times, but
But it's good that you're doing a vetting process regardless.
Yeah.
'cause it's important to do that for your safety and also for theirs.
yeah, like a lot of I find a lot of women are scared of phone calls prior to meeting.
I hate phone calls.
Yeah, well,
personally. I
there,
get it. Yeah.
there you go. But I feel like they're such a great tool to vet, and I wish that more women didn't hate them, because 5 minutes, 10 minutes on a phone call can save you from getting ready, going out with somebody, and realizing that in the first 5 minutes.
Agreed, but you can do intake forms, and that's how
What?
No.
She's-
Not
wait till she
intake-
tells you about her spreadsheets as well.
Oh no!
The bang spreadsheet is the best.
Oh no!
Okay,
What have I walked
like
into
to have
here?
feedback on how I am as a sexual partner, and it's nice to get it from every person I've slept with to gauge on a rating scale, because I like to have averages and to see where I can boost up my scores, and then
So
where I'm
you
good.
send them a survey after you've had
It's
sex.
like a 3-question survey. It's not much. It's not tedious.
Did you
I'm
feel
curious.
comfortable?
No.
What position did
How
you
good was
enjoy
the head?
most?
That is one of them.
How
sort
good
of.
was the head? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a 10 out of 10.
She's
my
like,
head's great.
What's the technique?
like
Is there a
that-
secret to it?
I'll tell you later.
Oh. I recently learnt a new technique as well.
we can exchange some details later. No, but it's good. So intake forms in the way, like, it doesn't need to be like so clinical, because
Yeah.
this is me being a psych, but like you can do the vetting process in a way where you filter out through certain questions
Yeah.
and get to know someone without the phone call, because the phone call can be intimidating. I do like the fact that a lot of dating websites are now including voice memos. I'm actually really for
But don't
that.
you think that's more like what she's saying though?
So
With that,
I do like that, but I also like the idea of having time to reflect on an answer and then put it in about what I want, because in the moment I'm not very good spontaneously.
I like to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
And
but
I
that's
don't like
because that's a good and that's what's really good.
But I'm good in like, you know me.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
time we met, I'm nothing like that.
No,
And that is not
But
a good
that's
impression
why-
that I make to people. So when people get to know me, I know that
Yeah.
they're not going to like me straight away.
don't you think that'd be
After,
something
like,
good to
3 or
work on though,
4
like your first impression?
No,
right?
I don't want to improve on that. 'cause-
Who can we call?
Yeah, if only we had someone in the room that was really good at first impressions. No, but I used to do that
I like that. Though.
with dating through COVID.
Yeah.
Especially in Melbourne because it was fucked.
Yeah.
So it kind of forced you to do a Zoom date first, because you'd have the text over whatever, and there'd be so much lost in translation, right? So it was just organic for me to be like, hey, maybe we should just have a Zoom chat first. And you do like a cute Zoom date where we'd like, you know, I'd pick a wine for them and they'd pick like something for me, and you kind of still had that bonding thing, but you could see if it was going to be weird,
yeah.
right? And there was a few, you just be like halfway through it because you're behind. I was here, like I'd be like, it's not gonna, you know, it's a bit weird, and you can just kind of tap out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're saving their time, you're saving your time.
Yeah.
And they can even ask, because it's safe. They'd be like, so what was it? Da da da. And I had really honest conversations
Yeah.
with that stuff. The phone can be like, I think it's a really fucking good idea. But your first impressions aren't that bad. You were just super smashed and super loud when we met.
Which is usually how
I'm like,
present to
who
people,
is this
'cause I'm-
obnoxious
because
bitch?
I'm
And like,
socially
what is
anxious,
going
so
on?
I drink to make it easier
Yeah.
to interact, and then I am full Lil.
I think I was with Ames.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You were.
And we were coming from like
I was
over
with
the
Razzie
road. We
when
were
I'd
around the
just
corner
come.
and we could hear her. I'm like,
really loud. Really
I'm like, I think that's Lil.
I'm passionate.
Yeah, that's right. I like that.
Hence the good head. So, you know.
Exactly.
Passion. You do have to be passionate when
You do.
you're giving head.
You got to love what you're doing.
I mean, I
like
love
an
it. Yeah.
unenthusiastic blowjob.
There's, you'd be surprised. There's so
Actually,
many.
they might get off on that.
Some people do.
They
I had
do
an
like,
ex that used
please
to-
don't make me do it.
Dude, I seriously cried and one dude got harder. Like it's it's a thing. It's a kink for some
Hey,
dudes.
I don't judge. I think
That's-
that's, I could get
To each
into
their
that.
own.
Yeah, I could get
I'm here
into
for
that.
it.
Bit
Mascara
worrying,
running.
though.
Who cares,
But
right?
speaking on terms of that, any personal dating icks?
Icks.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's plenty.
Oh,
If you had to, like, your top 2 to 3.
Good.
oh,
no.
yeah. I mean, a guy that doesn't make a move when there's been like that many green lights. is
Yep.
a real ick. I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
God,
Like,
do I have to
come on.
grab you and like do everything? Yeah.
And it's nice to have someone initiate rather than.
I know.
just
I'm like,
having
I'm
to
giving
make
you all the signs.
signals,
Look at my
yeah.
body language, the way I'm leaning into you. I'm giving you eye contact. We're talking about intimate topics.
It would probably frustrate you more because you teach it and you're like,
I know. I had to do it the other day, and I was like, oh my God, why? Yeah, and I didn't want to, but I was like, I'm here because I want a bit of fun, you know.
Yeah.
I want again, my dates, like that's what frustrates me is like it's usually just a bit of fun, and I want to go and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And to sit there and like, yeah, we had a great conversation, but I didn't meet up because I wanted a friend. I met up because I wanted something fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
potentially.
That too.
But then
Yeah.
I was like, found myself going, "Are you okay? Are you okay with this?" I'm like, what am I doing? I need to get away from this situation. So that's definitely an ick.
That
is
also
the-
takes you out a bit your feminine as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And look, if we're playing with that and I
Then
want to
sure.
be, masculine and dominant, awesome.
But clearly you would have made the move if that was the case. In that
Yeah.
instance, you're clearly just going, I'm sending signals. You need to read them.
I said, should we go back to your car? He's like, it's dirty. I'm like,
Oh my God. I mean,
Okay.
to be
Should
fair,
we
it
go
could
to
have been
my
a really
car?
fucking gross car.
Whoa, really?
yeah.
And then what did he say?
Fucking hell.
Oh, I don't know.
So,
if it's too
okay, because
dirty.
I brought my own jacket. He had no jacket. I'm like, I can clearly see you're cold. But-
Oh, don't.
Yes, you did.
not offer. No.
I didn't.
Oh, I was gonna say,
I did not.
that's too
I
far.
thought about it. I'm like, oh God. I was like,
You know what would have been better as well if you were taller than him too and you did it
I
from
was.
over the top?
That
Yes!
is the
I
most
was.
emasculating thing.
I can't even go.
It could have got him hard though, you don't know. Like,
I mean, maybe he's into that. Maybe he just wanted a nice little, like a femdom. You know, some people like that.
I was not
That's
into
cool.
that.
yeah. There are dudes that, because you do have a stronger personality as
Yeah.
well, you might get a lot of guys that are like
Naturally
a
fall
little bit
into
more
more
beta as well.
submissive,
Yeah.
And that's probably, I
And
think
that's
where a
not
lot
what
of
I
that
want.
annoyance
Yeah.
comes from.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
it's definitely a nick for me. I
Yeah.
want to go on that date and feel like a giddy girl. And I think sometimes we get talking and if they are intimidated by me or what I
Yeah.
do, like it sucks.
That's a good filter though.
Dudes-
Yeah, it
yeah.
is. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I used to say I was a life coach, not a dating coach on dates because I,
Yeah. It's a big
didn't
one.
want them to get weird because
Yeah.
the number one response is, are you analyzing me right now?
Yeah.
You probably get that with
As a psych,
psychology as
yeah,
well. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, like, it's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like, but
Not
now that you
working.
say that, I'm gonna actually analyze that, and maybe you should go to therapy.
Yeah. So they're probably a couple of top
Yeah.
The ickies.
top ickies.
I like that though. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, did you notice any trends with dudes in your personal life? Are you attracted to a certain type of guy?
My girlfriend says I'm attracted to the awkward guys.
Okay.
So, there you go. I don't know. That was her observation. I don't feel like that, but I guess
Yeah.
sometimes I do find myself attracted to a man's personality and vibe. Like, not that
Yeah.
he's not good looking, but he's not typically what you think would be attractive.
Yeah,
If
I
that
get
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah,
and I've
yeah,
dated
yeah.
like really attractive, like physically attractive guys.
Yep.
However, I always find that they kind of lack that
Yeah.
character and that personality, and that really gets me excited when I meet someone that has that. It's like,
It's because it's
Yeah.
that big thing, and unfortunately, if you treat it, it's more with guys that I've noticed as I'm getting
Yep.
older than girls. But if you treat it a certain way your entire life because you look a certain way,
yeah.
they tend to not develop a personality. And then you've got these, and it happens a lot with like footy players and a lot of like sports guys. Yeah,
I've had some really insightful discussions with football
Yeah.
players at that high level, and
Yeah.
I actually feel really sad for them. They're super isolated.
Yeah.
Dating is really challenging. It's
Yep.
the same for people with a celebrity status or
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
profile. It's very small and hard to trust people.
Yeah.
What are their intentions? Why, I remember seeing this. I won't name names. I remember seeing one player in we're out and about, and this one
Yeah.
chick comes up and she goes, "Oh, I don't know AFL. I only know NRL or whatever."
Yeah.
but she knew exactly who he was,
Oh,
chased
no
this
shit.
dude out of the bar, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like she knew everything, and that's scary.
That's
like
creepy as
it
shit.
is so creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even
you've seen that in
NBA
LA too.
players,
Yeah.
you know, with the women trying to get the semen out of the condom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have to really protect their
Yeah,
semen.
it's
Because
Drake
they
with
try and
Tabasco.
impregnate themselves. Yeah, it's what?
3 days it can stay out of the fucking...
Exactly.
That's
That is
insane.
man, it's some seriously insane stuff. But yeah.
I wish my semen was that fucking sought after. No kidding. Do you need to pee? Yeah, that's all right.
Sorry, I had so much alcohol.
No, you're fine. I'll have to edit though. Oh, that's spam. Hey, Bevo and Hashi, who are listening live. They're two of my boys from back in the day.
Ooh, tell me some dirt.
They're not. They're good, upstanding.
No,
Actually,
I mean,
Bevo...
I want them to tell me dirt about you.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but you can tell me dirt about
that's
them
real
too.
bad. No, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Bevo has a lot
They
of
do
dirt.
have. Ooh,
Bevo does.
Juicy.
It's so fucked. I'm turning the stream off. Go home.
Get off. Go home.
Guess-
Oh, he says, I got plenty.
Yeah.
I can't read it from here, but that.
Bevan's like,
we'll
what's
talk
the Insta?
later.
We can talk later.
Yeah, add me at
That's-
Dating with Sarah official.
Yeah, follow.
Slide into my
Bevo probably
DMs.
already follows you.
Bevo.
Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
the juice. You seem concerned. Are you a little bit worried about
Bevan.
No, Bevan.
Bevan, yeah.
You're using the full, not Bevo.
That's-
Bevan. To comment. Anyway.
No comment.
No,
Yeah,
Oh, no
alright.
comment. Good.
And then I'll do a clap, so it'll give me a
Excellent.
peek in the audio. Let me know when you're settled.
Yep.
You good?
I'm really glad I did that.
Talk
I think
in
I
the
would
mic
have
for me.
peed myself. Hello, 1 2
Alright,
1
cool.
2.
Ready? 3,
Thank
2,
you.
1. Penis, and we're back. How's your piss, dude? Was that
It
fun?
was so good. I like seriously. I really needed
30
to
minutes.
Go.
30 minutes in, I was like, you could have pissed before.
I did.
You could-
I literally did.
Oh, did you?
I've just drunk so much that I. Did you know
I
that
blame her.
however quickly you drink actually affects like the level of stream that you have too?
Wait, sorry, say that again?
How quickly you drink will affect the level of intensity of your stream as well. Fun
Ah.
fact.
Actually, because when I got to the airport today, I sculled a glass of water, two
And did you
glasses
just,
of
like,
water and a coffee, and I was like, "Oh, I really need to pee."
Yeah.
Like I
When I
launched
got on,
myself
and
off
when-
the seat when I...
And when I got off, and the flight's only an hour, I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's not long.
Jesus, what's going
Yeah,
on?
so how quickly you drink actually
Interesting.
affects how quickly your peeing like stream is.
The more you know,
And
guys.
I've been sculling drinks. So it was a fast pee, guys.
So in terms of dating trends for you,
Yeah,
it was
personally.
just quieter dudes and stuff. Usually.
Quite, yeah, interesting,
Awkward.
interesting guys, like country guys.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's how do I describe them? But I realized I kept kind of going for that kind of guy, and then I branched out.
Yeah.
And I remember dating a Swedish guy. I was like, why not, Sarah? It doesn't matter that he's blonde and blue-eyed. You can do this.
You don't like blonde, blue-eyed guys?
No, not usually.
Hitler would have hated you.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah. He's
sorry.
like, you're almost there halfway.
Are we being racist again? I don't know.
No.
We're a very cool podcast. You
Yeah,
just-
okay, good. I hope so. I just felt like a sibling. It felt like a family thing. It felt like my brother.
I've heard
Not
this
that my brother's
before.
brunette, to be
No,
honest,
but
and
I've heard this
yeah.
from girls before.
It felt strange.
The same hair colors, it throws you off. Even though me and Amy are dark haired.
Yeah.
But
For
you're
some
different,
reason
just
with
a light
blonde.
her.
Yeah. And I'm very white and
Yeah.
she's very Australian. I think that's the thing is similarity can help in some ways.
Yes.
Right, because obviously you don't have
Yeah.
attraction and
Otherwise,
stuff.
it's like
Sometimes
very
that's the thing.
familial.
Yeah, but then once if it's too much, then it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So I really base my attraction off the pheromones.
I know a dude that's married to a girl that looks like him.
Scary.
It's really weird.
It is weird, and I really
I'm
tried to get past it because
I'll
I
show
think
you photos.
yeah.
It's
I
fucking
just think
so
with
weird.
dating people limit themselves sometimes. Yeah.
People want to. So, fun fact: people date people that look like them because they want to genetically produce good-looking babies. So,
Yeah,
fun
but
fact,
there's a
there's a
margin, right?
threshold to it, but
Yeah.
you actually do attract people that look closer to you because you think that yourself is good-looking. Like, there's a lot of research on it.
Oh,
People
Sarah,
choose
you might
people
not like
that
yourself,
look like
mate.
their partners.
But I feel like the men I go for are more. But my dad was
Personal-
tanned as well.
Yeah, that's
My
the
dad
thing.
very tan, dark featured. Like my
Yeah.
my nana was like black hair. Like again, that's the
Yeah, yeah.
Birmingham sort of mongrel side, which
Yeah.
I don't look like. So my mum's side's, but
But we
very
are
German.
attracted to people who look like family, like in a
That's so
fucked up weird way.
weird.
But it's so true because we want to continue our lineage, and they look healthy, they look familiar, so it naturally does that.
Yeah, it can be the
My
common,
mum's
but
made that point
I've
about
dated
my
a
people who I'm
redhead, a
attracted
blonde,
to.
and a brunette, all of different genetic backgrounds, all of different facial structures.
Oh, fucking same. All of my exes look nothing alike. Personality-wise, they're all...
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe the personalities are similar.
No, but even the actual physical features, because I feel like I've dated a lot of guys that are quite tan, like South African or Maori. Like they have this islander thing, and I feel like what's attractive to me is they seem to have this very grounded energy. They're very like loving, and that seems to be the real like my current partner when oh my, his smell I don't like pheromone. No. I'm just like,
I'm with you. I'll be sniffing pits and I'm like, this is like cocaine.
I could smell anything on him and I'm just like, there is something happening here. Like it's beyond anything, you know?
I'm with you.
And you would have been exposed to that, like, because the dating dudes and stuff kind of push the pheromone stuff. Did RSD talk about it much?
Not a lot. No. Okay. Not a lot.
Ross
but
Jeffrey's one of the starting guys. You can get had colognes, man. He sold colognes. I was like,
they still do, yeah. Occasionally I get a message about those type of things.
But what they don't realize though, if that's not your natural scent, and then you don't wear it one day,
and
it starts to be real weird.
Birth control?
No.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, no.
Explain, please.
So, birth control actually affects the partner choice.
Don't come in her, okay?
No. I mean, that's fine. Shoot your shot wherever you need to. But like,
control your penis, Lil.
People who are on birth control, their hormones are affected, right? And particularly the pill affects it. So who you're attracted to on the pill, most women who go off the pill actually end up breaking up with their partners because they're not attracted to them.
Boys.
So never let your partner go off the pill.
Listen, boys.
But that's the thing.
She's dating you, just keep it there
I'm
forever.
on the pill. But like, so you go for different types of men based on that and pheromones and hormones.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
And I wouldn't know the difference because I've been on the fucking pill since I was 14.
Yeah. And I've been super lucky. Every girl that I've dated has had issues with the pill, so they've never been.
I hate the
pill. So it's OG attraction. Let's go.
Oh, baby, it's raw. It's real.
That's right.
Nice.
Not just that I'm short. Okay, so what do we got next? So what was life like before you started your company? So it's different now because you're fucking everywhere all the time. You're traveling literally.
That sounds like a movie that we've watched recently. All the time, everywhere, everything.
Oh my God,
yes,
great movie.
I haven't seen it yet though.
My head still is just like, whoa.
It's fucking good.
Really?
Yeah, it's worth it. I got really inspired watching that film. There's a lot to unpack.
Powerful.
Yeah.
I want to do a studio, so it was like, hopefully it will line up, and then like 2 weeks later, you're like, I'm in Melbourne now, so that works.
Yeah, I know. Perfect.
What was your life like before?
Before RSD, like before I started? Or before I...
Yeah, so go kind of prior acting days. So you were in LA?
Yeah.
Did you come home and not be acting anymore, or?
No, I'm still doing that. I just did a commercial last week of auditioning for films and stuff, which is great. And I do want to take that a bit more, you know, seriously and stuff like that because I kind of put it on the back burner. But it works really well with what I do because there are quite a few acting elements to it when we do role plays, which I'm sure
we'll talk about. That's very, very one thing that she does very differently, guys, is they do kind of like mock dates and stuff, which is definitely your acting background.
It helps.
It's fucking the
part
best.
Of the whole thing.
Totally
you got to reduce the nerves, and when you practice more and more,
you normalize
the skill becomes there. You desensitize the nerves.
So but before it, I mean, I was in a relationship, and I thought I was going to marry the guy, have a house together, business together. Like it was just all of that.
At what age though? Because you're still fucking young.
20. I would have been 20.
Really?
21.
Really young.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, found one.
But you think at that age you do think that the person you meet will be the love of your life.
I recently found this video, a happy birthday video I made for him, and it was the most cringeworthy thing I've ever watched in my entire life. I was like, I love you so much. And like, I had this weird ass voice. I was like, who is that
go
girl?
in octaves though when we love people.
Is that fawning or no?
No, not necessarily. When we go up in octaves, either as a fawning response, but also when we're interested in people, we do like the whole Muppet voice. Like I go so okay. So when I talk to older men, don't know what it is.
Older men?
Yeah, no, not in a sexual context. Like it's like
little bit.
Hi, I'm just wondering if you could help me. Like it's so fucking weird, and I do it as well when I'm interested in someone. Where I'm just like, I'm so giggly. And I'm not a giggly type, but if I'm like in love, I'm like, you're the best thing in my whole life. It's just it's a natural response when we're feeling like fear and needing help.
Yes. Wow, well, I needed both of those things.
Yeah.
I needed both of those things in that
relationship. Your brain hadn't fully developed. You weren't 25 yet.
Yeah, that's very insightful. I like that.
That's completely different. So you were literally about to settle down.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
And then it was like an atomic bomb. Like Oh, you've been cheating on me for a year? Wow.
Why do they do that?
no.
That's what.
Okay.
No.
That's a big realization.
You'd be able to break that down. But anyway,
I'll talk to you about that.
You're like,
later.
please don't.
No, I mean, again, I'm fascinated with human behavior. No wonder I'm in this industry. It's just fascinating. Fascinated with myself and fascinated with, people's dynamics and why we are the way that we are, why we have characters. We all have characters. You've got a character for this podcast.
We're always putting on a
character.
mask.
Yeah. And there's nothing,
Yeah.
I think, that gets a bad rap. I think the masks make sense. We have to put them on.
Protective.
Correct.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's functional as well. And it
Yeah, of
helps
course.
us to, get through. Podcast you is different to work you.
Oh,
Yes.
mate.
Different
Yeah.
to who you are when you're
Yeah.
with Amy. Who's different to you when you're
Yeah,
with the
and you
boys.
would have seen it as
What's
soon
your
as I
Amy
walk
voice?
into
Is there
the...
an Amy voice?
He's so
I-
much softer and gentler with her.
Yeah, I love her.
He's
of
very,
course.
that's
It's not like, I don't think I don't get
I become
fawny. Like, I don't,
You're not
What do
in
you mean
need
by
of help
fawning?
though.
like, you're like,
No.
oh, babe. Like, I don't do that.
No, that's not fawning though. You get softer because you're
Yeah.
showing vulnerability.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
most people, when you
Yeah.
do feel safe
I'm
in
like
a
that with most people.
relationship,
So sweet, though.
you do that. And friendships too. Like the level of safety, like baby talk is a sign of safety. It's why we do it with pets. It's why we do it with babies. Because it's a protective nature. So the more that you do it with couples, the safer that you sort of feel. That's why people are like, ew, that's gross. But it's like, actually, that's a sign of vulnerability and a sign that you're being met with your needs.
Yeah.
Because no one would baby talk to a partner they did not feel safe with.
100%.
I never did that with a piece of shit ex that I was with. Ever.
Amy, I feel safe with you. I don't baby talk. I don't know why I don't baby talk.
Oh, you don't need
I'll
to
do it
baby
now. I
talk.
promise. I swear to God.
No. But you don't need to baby talk.
I'm
It's
kidding.
more like
Everyone
the,
out there's freaking out. Like,
You're like, I don't do that.
It's the softer side of you. The fact that
It
Amy
doesn't
gets
have
to
to be
see
a voice.
vulnerability
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
you.
okay.
So like partners usually don't talk to their mates to the extent with which they would to a partner. Particularly males, they would be more bro-y, right? They're like,
Yeah.
I'm having a tough time. Oh, that really sucks. Cool. Should we have some drinks? Yeah, let's do that.
I'm gonna
As
just fuck
opposed
with it
to
next time. Be like, oh my God, how
with
you
a
going?
partner where you're like, I love you. I'm
Actually,
having
babe,
a hard
what's going
day.
on?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Things
you're
are getting
taking it out
weird.
of context.
I can't wait. It's going to be so going to make them want to touch my penis.
Thank you.
Can we please change this, man? Please, why? Why is there bro talk? Why can't you just have more deep and meaningful
Unfortunately,
conversations?
because males are socialized and taught that they're not allowed to be vulnerable.
You say that though. I'm the biggest crier.
You are
probably ever fucking met.
I filmed him the other day, a
Crying?
friend, and
Oh yeah, it was here
he started
actually.
crying, and it was
for one
I
of my
love
best
your
friends who moved
vulnerability, though,
overseas.
the person
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
spoken about.
But it's
yeah.
that acting thing too because I put the hat on and then got into like I was talking.
He
to
was
you.
in full mode as if he
I
was
was-
talking.
You tap
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I love
not
your
fun,
vulnerability
but-
though. Every time I see it, I genuinely like. I'm like I feel safer with
Yeah.
you and more connected to you when I see those.
What's
sides.
that willingness to emote thing?
Yeah.
That you
Yeah,
have to teach guys
100%.
that don't know how to talk to girls.
Yeah,
like,
it's really
fine to
tough.
do
I'm
that.
telling you, like, my partner's he's from that generation where he was trained.
Stoic.
Yeah, he was trained to show no emotion.
Yeah.
Like his father was from the war. He had to
Jesus.
do really messed up things as a kid on the farm. Like
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
and he's grown so much and, it's wild. Like there's so many men that are in that boat. And, there's a girlfriend of mine who's dating one of his friends as well. Same a bit, a little bit, a little bit older than my partner. And again, she comes up against the same challenges emotionally.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you look at younger guys, even my age group,
Yeah.
27, and they talk about their emotions differently. So there
Yeah.
are things are
Really
definitely
do.
changing, but
And
that
it's
generation,
beautiful.
yeah,
It's so hard to be able to connect to because you want to be able to offer a safe space. But when you've been conditioned your whole life to go against the grain of that and taught that emotions are bad, that they're
Yeah.
shameful, that you need to keep
Yeah.
them in. I mean, that is why most farmers kill themselves.
Yeah.
Like the suicide
Yeah.
rates for males are so
Yep.
high because of that isolation, for the lack of connection and being unable. That's why men's circles are so important.
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed, yeah.
really, it is so crucial. So I really resonate with what you just said. And I think it's really important that we start to normalize.
I think so.
yeah,
vulnerability with
beyond the being able to cry, like, which I
Yeah.
think is amazing in a lot of
when
men.
you tell
it's a
your
big
mates,
step.
yeah, when
But-
you tell them that you love them,
Yeah.
like because
Yeah.
I love that about you. I love that you are so
That's huge.
open.
That is huge.
Seriously, every time I see it, like my heart goes, we need more of this
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
is such a seriously, it is such
Please
a
keep
beautiful
going.
characteristic when you are
It just takes if you
open
lose a couple of
relating.
people that are close to you that
no,
are young.
but all
That's
of
the
your
only reason I
mates
do
that
it.
I've
Yeah.
seen, like I love that all of our mates, they
Yeah.
will hug you, they will embrace you,
Yeah,
they will
yeah.
kiss you on the cheek, they will be like, I love you. And
Yeah.
that to me is so important that I'm so lucky to be surrounded by males that are
Yeah.
comfortable in their sensitivity, are comfortable in their vulnerability and safe to do it without it affecting their masculinity. Sorry, just I love
I
it when
agree
men are
with you.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever talk about it to the extent that we do, breaking it down, analysing the
One day,
emotions.
one
Like-
day, one day.
Well, ours happened from trauma and stuff though, so it's
Mm-hmm.
different. But it's getting there, and I got lucky because my dad's he's a bit of a crier too.
Sensitive type of
Yeah. But if you have those, it's true. If you have the role models and stuff, it's easier to do it.
And I think younger generations are getting way better with that.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
coming into a space
There's
of
progress.
gentle parenting.
There's
with that.
progress.
We'll get there. But so I want to know how like you went from so you're working with these dudes in LA and stuff, and then what was the point for you where you're like, I can fucking do this?
It was, where was I? My goodness. I was over in Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
And so what I used to do when I first started is I would travel with a projector.
Oh, that's actually really smart. You need those.
No, well, I would have because they had their PowerPoints and stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I'm so here for that. I only learned that recently.
I'm now picturing because all the videos I used to watch, they have like the whiteboard and stuff. Like, that'd be so funny.
I love that.
So I felt
This is A1 and this is.
it was pretty wild. Like, I remember getting trained for 2 weeks, and then I just got sent to the airport with this huge backpack with all the camera gear, the projector, which weighed a ton. Like, you know, I got to travel around the world with this like heavy ass projector. Like, it was just so ridiculous. But the reason is, when I started, I wasn't yet a coach. I was just almost like facilitating these sessions and then setting up the projector, obviously liaising with the people, clients coming, and then putting Nick up on the screen, and he would do a presentation. He would sell them on the coaching package, and then I would
because their model was different. You would go to something first.
So it's a free tour. They would call it, you know, it's a free tour. It's a free event. You know, 4 hours, 5 hours. You come along, you learn some things about dating, and then there's usually an offer to work, you know, in person for the next couple of days or something. So that's how it started. And I wasn't really getting paid at that point. It was just, I mean, I was just learning, and I was traveling, and I was getting to go these places. And then in Europe, I remember Nick was on, I don't know, in the Caribbean or something, and his network was really bad. And he just goes, Sarah, I think you'll be all right without me.
Yeah.
Because I'd done it so many times now. I'd heard what that he spoke about. I'd heard his you know, PowerPoint presentation that many times that I was like, I can do this, and I think I can do it in my own way and do it even better. And so that's when it started, and I became, I guess, an official executive coach and started selling. And the other coaches, honestly, I don't think they noticed me until I actually started selling. And they realized, shit, she can sell.
She's good.
And that speaks to them, you know, in that
And you were in a
business
market
sense.
It's very funny because I think they think they're being quite smart about it, but you can tell, like, all right, dude, come on. But so once you're doing that space, right, and then you kind of like, everyone's like, all right, she's a force to be reckoned with. What was the point for you? Like, I can actually do this literally on my own. I don't need to be part of RSD. I'm going to do my own thing. I've seen things that are like, I can do it better. When was that for you? Like, had you been in it for a year, 2 years? What was your lifespan like with them?
Maybe almost a year, I'd say. Maybe 6 months.
I get that vibe. I think you
honestly,
very quick.
I got to be transparent. I didn't get much training, if any training. It was like being on SAS. I got thrown, you know, out of a helicopter and into a situation I really had no understanding of, and I had to sink or swim. So it was the same mentality. I think it's really served me well throughout my life, but I had to do that. And I realized quite quickly, I was like, well, why am I not doing this? And why don't I sell Skype coaching? At the time, Skype was more bigger than Zoom, but it was like, why am I not selling people? So I started doing that all on my own, and I really started to figure out, well, I can do this model, this coaching model. But there was definitely a big moment where I just felt very unsupported by a few people, and I thought, I don't see a future here. I just went, I just don't see a future here. I don't see a healthy future.
Everyone, when they do their own business thing, you're like, I feel like I'm doing the majority of this on my own anyway. And they're getting the majority of the cut of this, and it's time for me to do this on my own with my own spin on it. And I think that's what happened with you.
My boss was charging $260 an hour for me, and I got $30 an hour, and I was just like, well, I know my worth now, so I'm gonna go. Bye. I'm not gonna charge that much because that's absolutely exploitation. But then I'm gonna be able to charge what I want, and most of my clients flock back to me anyway.
Well, there you go. I mean, look, I think one of the most amazing things, and I'll be forever grateful. Like, I know that it was a bit iffy, you know, for me in certain ways, but to be able to be a part of that was pretty amazing. And to travel the world, and I think the other thing,
the experience,
and they've got the community, and so people would recognize me because of that. So I'm very grateful for that.
But also back yourself as well, because they saw value in you. But they saw value in you, and that they brought you into that. because ultimately, this is what I tell all
They
people
saw
with
potential.
businesses
They
and
saw
stuff.
all of this.
Because you feel
beautiful
loyalty to
type-
people that give you the break.
You
But
know,
at the end of the day,
I do.
you're getting them cash too.
Yeah.
And if you were a dud, you wouldn't have been there in the first
That's
place,
true.
right? It would have burned out early.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just you realize that there's that divergent thing. It happens heaps with the dating coach.
Yeah, it does.
I'm trying to read what Bevo said.
Bevo.
Mm.
Spamming.
Oh, I did. Did I keep saying I love you? Yeah, I was.
Who
I
is
still
it?
mean it.
Who's
To who?
Bev?
I was out with Bevo last week.
Is this Chris?
Oh, because you were
No.
talking about that.
No, Bevo's
saying I
Bevo.
love
You'll meet
you.
Bevo soon. That was I was very
Having a great time.
a lot of chocolate milk. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
Yummy.
Okay, so where are we at now? Online dating, having experience. Blah, 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 blah. All right, yeah. So you said you've dated off speeding apps.
Dating apps.
Dating
Woo!
apps. Dating apps.
How many times have you?
How do you think dating apps kind of stand in the dating space now? Do you think they're like a net positive or a net negative? Like, are they causing more damage than good? I know, like,
It's just the relationship with them, I would say.
Yeah.
How you use them. I've had clients just become, what's a character to describe this? They've become fanatical, obsessive about the analytics of dating apps and trying to crack the code. And like they put all their eggs in one basket. I think that's where it becomes very negative.
Yeah.
But I think they're very handy when you know how to use them and to create your dating brand, because that's what it is, like a personal brand or a business brand. You have a dating brand, the way that you lead with certain parts of yourself. And
I mean, we can all agree that the general average of the photos and how people present themselves
It's not how they actually
is
are.
so bad.
It's a highlight reel.
It's so bad. It's a movie trailer.
You should have seen the speed dating app. When I went with City Swoon, there were people that didn't even have their faces in the photos.
Oh.
And we're like, we got to match you with someone in person. How the fuck are we supposed to do that?
We've got to make sure you look like a
look
human.
nothing like this photo.
Yeah, and look, I think my opinion on it is that it needs to evolve. It's kind of going in that direction, but people are so afraid to take a photo of themselves.
Yes.
Like, or get good feedback
I
about.
don't even know how to take photos generally.
And
as
that's
well.
everybody. It's not just men. I know men cop it a lot,
women
but like
take really shit photos too.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, like this is not good. So
I had someone that, because this was through COVID, that was dating app approved, like sort of thing. So it seemed okay on the photos.
Verified.
Passed like the Zoom, we spoke, whatever. Then rocked up to my house because in Victoria you had to basically, once it was past 8 o'clock, you couldn't be on the roads, or 9 o'clock I think it was.
Yeah.
So she's basically staying over. But she came into my driveway and got out of her car, and it was not at all in any way.
But you saw her on Zoom.
Yes, I understand that, and it was because it was now that I
shoulder
now that I go
levels, so
back,
you don't
it was
see
elevated,
full.
so I couldn't see. And she was very front on. I think she was very curated. Then looking back at it, I'm like, oh, she didn't move at all, did she? She was very much like kind of trying to play the part.
Why do it to yourself though?
Yeah, and
why,
it's the thing
why
is
put
'cause
yourself in that
you-
situation?
This is the thing: is you are who you are, and you kind of want someone that's into all of you anyway.
Yeah.
But show
Because then the
yourself
sex
fully.
isn't going to be that good, regardless. Look, it was fantastic. It was fun.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wait,
But-
so he's not funny.
Yeah.
We're all like, it's not the best,
This
but I'm
was-
still going to go through it.
No, but like the conversation we had, we thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
was
exactly.
like, hey,
Ah.
if this is this is gonna happen,
This is how I'm going out.
but I'll send you the episode where I break down the full story.
Okay.
I don't want to do it again because I feel horrible that it's come up like 10 times.
Oh, no. You obviously need to
It-
process it.
It's still time for processing.
There was a lot. There was
COVID was a time.
Yeah, so
something
look,
happened in the house and still was not good. Anyway,
okay. Sorry, we've all been there, right?
Oh, no, not to that space.
Okay, I look forward to
this is-
listening to
I'll
that
tell you
podcast.
about it later.
But yeah, look, I think inherently there's some problems with dating apps.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
big ones are starting to obviously treat it like a gambling thing. Like,
Yeah.
no kidding. There's so many upsells on those apps. Like, it's
Yeah.
wild. But I think the major problem is the way people are being presented. Individuals like daters are finding it difficult to not sell themselves, but brand themselves to find the person they're looking for. So I actually, a big part of what I'm doing at the moment is helping people create those, let's call them movie trailers.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so you
and
do profile creation and stuff.
Yeah, and
That's really cool.
not just great photos, which I've been doing
Yeah.
for many years, but even evolving into taking a short video or actually interviewing a dater, taking snippets of their answers, because we all know you can feel more connected to someone when you see a video of them.
Agreed. Yeah, 'cause it's more
100%,
personable.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I'm at, working with a business partner of mine and a matchmaker actually, because I don't know a lot about matchmaking, but I've recently got into it lately, partnering with someone from New York, and she's amazing. But there's so many daters in databases.
Yeah,
that
that's
Really?
so true.
They sit there, right? So you
Yeah.
might pay a matchmaker
Yeah.
to meet somebody, but then your profile just sits there. So our whole mission is to actually bring them alive and to interview you and like find what's your secret sauce, like what makes you.
So we can actually make that your selling point.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So you're not just sitting there with like some old ass photo of you from 10 years ago.
Like just trying to find a lady.
Yeah, just find a lady.
Any lady will do.
That's actually super dope that you've got that multifaceted approach, because you're like, well, I haven't been able to coach you to get you to that point, but we can have a look at what you're doing right now and be like, just do this, and then this is what would make you attractive to people. Because it's really weird. People don't understand. Well, it's not really weird, actually. It's not something that you would actively be like, oh, this is what I get a lot of good feedback on, right? And that's what I should put forward more, because that's like your best foot forward sort of thing, right? And because dudes are super modest most of the time.
Yeah.
So you're always going to underplay most things.
That's what I think one of their biggest challenges is because of that modesty, they don't go and get great photos of themselves. And that's why the women are, I'm sorry, but I'll be the first one to say when I'm on there, first like split second, if you don't capture my attention, I'm swiping left. Like, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about your bio. Like, if I don't get past that good photo, and even if I go, oh yeah, and I'll go a bit further or look at the photos, then there's a bad one. I'm like, nah, like it's really, it's brutal. Like I think it's brutal. And again, I feel like I'm lenient, but you got to know what you're up against on those apps.
I agree with that to an extent because I'm a little bit different, but that's because I like a good bio. If the bio is good enough, it can justify a swipe to the
like a bad photo. Like, I'm talking like you just whoa.
I might go, but the bio is interesting enough.
This is why
to
we're having
my
problems, Lil.
I'm in a relationship.
I know.
Look, I have nearly been swayed, all right, but most of the time there has to be at least one decent, just something.
Okay, I agree with that. If there's no good photos at all, because like we've discussed this as well, looks are still like you will go to that first as a selling point, and then you'll be looking at the bio. But I'm very bio interested because I don't look like, for me, looks are great. I still need to have a level of attraction. But the bios are what sell me. Because for me, I want to know about the person. But ideally, what you would want
is the best of both worlds. So you would want your bio to be solid.
Yeah.
And then like a good photo or two. Two good photos out of, like, if you've got one shit photo, I can justify a good swipe.
That's true.
I'm like, you know what? One bad photo, it's fine. If you have a fish photo, absolutely not. If you've got a photo with a baby that's not yours or an animal that's not yours,
camera, so you're fine.
Absolutely not. No, because people think that that's great. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to put an animal photo in. I'm going to put a photo with my niece in because, oh my God, it's so cute and I look fatherly. It's like, you literally have in your bio that you don't want kids and you've got a photo of your niece. Like, that's not fucking selling anyone.
What's your intent there?
Yeah, it's just to make sure you look like you're appealing. And like, that's fine if you want to sell people. But
I'll try it.
It's really fucking good.
I've tried that. I think I have tried that before.
Yeah, Elephant the Room is
My sister,
It's good.
It's
good.
So would you say there's what would you be your limit for photos as a guy?
As in how many to have on there?
Yeah, how many? Because you're allowed to have like what?
There's five or six, I think.
Yeah.
Depending on the app.
Do you feel?
You can have videos too, though, on Hinge and Bumble. But look, I think if you've got great ones, why not? You can utilize all of them. But I think three's appropriate.
Yeah.
That's the number that we keep getting is 3.
If you can get
and I didn't know this because I was just like, as a nerd, I'm like, all right, it's going to give me this many photos, so I'll fill it.
Just 3.
No, but filling it's good, but you need to have good photos.
Exactly.
If they're not, then top 3 would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get 3 great photos, maybe, one with a friend and just, again.
But you need to have a friend in the photo. And I've said that because
when
as
a short guy, I would always, because all my mates are tall, I'd be
Yeah.
like, social proof, but like, I'm short. Do you know what I mean? Like, because not all the apps have.
But you also want
right?
to sell yourself straight up.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
What did you say?
Where's the
Sit on
sit
your
on his
lap.
lap?
I missed that. I was like, I feel like that was funny.
It was. You missed it.
Sit on his
Sit on my lap, daddy.
Well,
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
Have
some humour. But yeah, look, I think 3, if you're doing bare minimum, but you want to aim for the best. But look, even then, we're talking dating apps. In person, it'd be a completely different story.
And you have to sell yourself completely.
Yeah, you do.
That just lends you the date. It doesn't even lend you beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an important tool, and that's what I like.
It
and I
is.
think it's testament to. Do you want the?
No, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I think that's testament to showing, I guess, the power in a coach that is, because a lot of the coaches now are getting a bit on. You know what I mean? So, but it's true, and this is just from our perspective.
What do you mean?
So they're getting older.
Are we
right?
getting old?
No, you're not. I think you're that next generation of the younger coaches. Like, because we spoke about AFC Adam and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're
Some of the older
they're my age or a bit older, right?
They're getting out of the game, really.
Yeah, and some of them didn't even touch dating apps, or they've tried to learn apps on the backbone. They haven't grown up with them. So a lot of them will put a lot of weight on.
Just
In
meet
person.
Don't worry about it, because it does say a lot to meet people in person and approach.
I agree
as well.
with that.
But in our current climate, especially in COVID times, we
Yeah.
have to rely on things like dating websites.
But
to
it would
connect.
be disingenuous to be like, you have this tool that's really powerful. Why would you not learn how to use that the best way possible?
Yep.
Right. And I think that's what I like about you is you've got you're the gap,
You're
the
versatile.
bridge now between
market.
the older kind of coaching and the
Yeah.
newer style,
Yeah.
where you learn from these guys and you're like, all right, cool. There's all this new shit that they don't know about that I understand it because I've grown up through it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what I guess our audience should take from this too, is whilst there's heaps of coaches out there, I think you've got to find what's relatable to you.
Yeah.
And it's harder with older coaches trying to coach dudes that are, almost in separate generations.
Yep.
Because there's all this stuff, like, whilst it's fantastic, don't get me wrong, we can come, I guess, from this a bit more impartial. And you do want someone that understands your
you're going
current
through.
life. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's what I like about you the most. That and that you've got like this no bullshit approach.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
a really clear way.
good to
And a
be
lot of people
direct.
say it to you, which I was like, fuck, I got that
The no
question. But then
bullshit.
I've seen heaps of
But it
people say it
works.
now.
It's effective though.
I wrote the question before
Well, I
I like
had no
looked. I was
idea.
like, yeah. Fuck
mean-
off, right?
And look, on those dating apps as well, it's like, I like the comment before. I don't know who said it. Who said it downstairs before, but women are flaky on dating apps.
That was me.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't take it personally, but I just feel like that
You
needs to be
shouldn't, yeah.
said. Yeah, don't take
Yeah.
it personally. I have a lot of my clients
really hard to
send me
not
through their
take it
chat
personally,
threads that they're having. And, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what they're saying or how they're approaching it.
It's
She's just not
They
women
just-
doing their thing.
You got to understand people's dating behavior, the way
Yeah.
they use these apps. I myself finished a hard day's work. I'm at home sitting on the fucking couch.
Yeah.
I might be bored, might just want to have some fun. And that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so I think that's something you come up against as well. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, don't put all your eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we actually spoke about this outside before too. How do you feel about like speed dating in general? So we'll talk about the old school. We'll talk about
My
the old
God.
school speed dating.
It's
Yeah.
like,
So I guess I can lead you into
Yeah,
it. So my personal take on the old school speed dating, that's fucking redundant. It's horrible. And being sat across the table from someone and then having to cycle across a table where you can see
Terrible.
what's coming as like some sort of production line of dating
Oh.
is fucking ridiculous, right?
It's so bad.
And if anyone's doing that, please reach out to me because I'm working with City Swing now.
Well,
more predominantly.
you know,
Razzy's here. I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I just heard him
that's-
in the house. That
Yeah.
was my response.
Bumble do that now though. I tried that out the other day.
What do you mean? Tell me.
Well, they do.
What is?
They do speed dating.
They do. I
On
did
the
notice
app, I
there's a
tuned in. It
notification.
popped up
Yeah.
on my phone. I went, I'll check this out.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's speed dating, so you don't see their photos. You have 3 minutes, which I think is
chat.
ridiculous.
It's
very
It takes
short.
me 3 minutes to construct the message
Oh, you do
sometimes.
6? Oh no, you're typing to people in 3 minutes.
time. Yeah.
Ah.
I'm like, and the only thing I could ever come up with is like, this is hard, isn't it? And
And they're like, yeah,
and
it totally is.
I'm just bonding on the fact that it's freaking hard.
But that's also a great way in.
It is.
It is
And they're like, yeah,
difficult.
it is. So how's your day? Where are you from? I'm like, it's just
Too many questions.
And then, you see them and
Yeah.
most of them I had a really great banter, but then I see
Yeah.
their photos. I'm
Like,
immediately, I'm like,
It's a waste of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
But and that's why I'm really keen to get you involved with
Cool.
these
Yeah,
new guys in the speed dating.
Honestly, I watched that episode and I really,
Yeah.
I'm, signed up or subscribed to something
Yeah.
from City Swim because,
Yeah.
I really want to find someone that does it in a less
Manufactured
awkwardly-
way?
Yeah,
It's really less
manufactured,
awkward.
awkward way. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because it can damage you too. Because especially those, the big thing that I learned from the two also that I've worked on currently, is it would be better for it to be exposed to a greater group of people because you tend to get like a certain specific type of like, it's a lot of career chicks and then like maybe dudes that aren't necessarily matched with those girls. They're going there. It's not desperation, but it is.
But it's mismatched.
You almost
Yeah.
need a little sprinkle of matchmaking.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a
100 fucking
facilitator
percent.
to be
I'm
honest.
happy.
Yeah.
I'll have a chat
Yeah.
about that because I think in
Yeah, yeah.
Australia, matchmaking isn't as big, but I
It's
think
not.
there's
No.
huge
America's
benefits that we
huge
can
on it.
take from what they do in America for
Yep.
sure.
I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic. So what have you done? So with the matchmaking stuff, how does that work?
It's
How
very
do they-
new,
Yeah.
which is why it's at the forefront of my mind. And
Yes.
I was very hesitant. Like anyone, I feel
Yeah.
like we have assumptions about matchmaking.
Yeah.
But I
time.
recently watched, the Jewish Matchmaker on Netflix, and
Fuck
I thought,
yeah.
wow, actually,
I was
maybe-
about to say that to you. So predominantly like matchmakers are Jewish women.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
so fascinating.
It's- yeah, yeah,
I
'cause
love
it's a
Isn't
big-
that where it
it was
started?
big in New
was
York.
Born, yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it was
born.
big in New York.
Because they're
Yeah.
strong fucking women. They know their shit. They're
Yeah.
good. To
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
I mean, have you looked at Miss Marvel? Like, there's a
Miss Marvel?
Miss
what's her
Maisel.
name?
That's
Miss Maisel.
so you actually
She's
need to
fucking-
watch this show.
Okay,
Okay,
it's been-
send it to me,
You
send
would
it to
love
me.
The
it.
Marvelous Mrs.
Fucking-
Maisel.
Ugh,
The
she's-
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a chick that's
In
a
the
comedian in like
60s.
the 60s.
and
Yeah.
it's
Her
fucking
mum's
ass.
actually a matchmaker.
Okay, this is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's really fucking.
You actually remind me a lot of the main character. It's quite
a
fucking
little
funny.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm into it. I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
so
really
like
impressive.
anti like matchmaking. People always go, "Do you match people off?" I'm like, no. Like, you know, I don't know why, but now I'm just like, do you know what? There's something in it. And I also think there's a huge opportunity to make it better.
Yeah.
I think matchmaking can be made better. There's plenty of people out there that are relationship ready.
Yeah.
Right? Like they aren't there. There's people that want to have fun.
Buffer.
Exactly. So I think, again, if you can take the manufacturedness
Away
of
from
the matchmaking and the speed dating, I feel like we're going to have a lot better results with connection.
Mate, you're in a good spot to do it.
100%.
Mate, you definitely get across that as quick as you can.
Well, I didn't know you were doing that, but I'm I'm very.
There you go.
This is why this shit works. It's great. Yeah.
Connecting.
But so tell everyone about the test run dates that you guys do.
Yeah, the test dates. I like that terminology.
It's the best thing that I saw at face value.
Yep.
That you guys do comparative to everyone else. No one has done that where it's like recorded and then.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't promote it. You know, I used to do it in person in my live events, so I'd actually, in front of a big audience.
Smooth mouse.
A big audience would bring people out of the audience and come up in front of everybody and do live demos.
Fuck yeah.
Like one was called the rejection exercise, which the audience always loved.
Yeah, because they get used to it. They are so used to rejection, they want to see someone have it and then to normalize it.
And I was like, damn, you guys are getting off on this way too much. But, you know, we'll go with it because it is powerful for them to realize that rejection doesn't have to be personal. It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
It's hard. It's like a muscle that you need to train.
And we've spoken about this so many times in sessions too. So it's really sessions.
So that's kind of where it started for me. And then I transitioned to online because I think online's better in many ways because you know, yes, you don't physically aren't there with each other, but you can analyze so much more of your behavior and it's safer. You know, you're in your living room. And they'll take
more risks because
they will.
It's safer.
So now I did that with a few different companies with the Simple Pickup guys. I did sales for them for a while. And
did you?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
During COVID.
Yeah, those guys are really cool.
Yeah, look, I mean, I had a great experience with them.
I got a lot.
I don't know what they're doing now, but it was great. Like you know, and they had a package that they were doing, which had mock dates in it as well. And I was.
But it's that thing of the younger generation, the Simple Pickup guys are younger.
Yes.
It's this new wave of coaches that are kicking this.
So now I love it. I agree with you. I
Yeah.
honestly think it's just a signature process. I say to new clients, if they can just do one mock date with me and get feedback, they will come away with a lifetime of breakthroughs, transformation. Like you find out all your blind spots. I was even saying, I think we were talking about it earlier, like even as a woman you learn so much. I was telling my hairdresser actually
of course.
I was like, was it you? No, it wasn't. But it was my hairdresser.
Women are not the same.
She was like, that's fascinating. I'm like, yeah. I always just have the most awesome conversations because even as a woman, I've got a team of women that do these dates for me now. I used to do them myself and I still love it because of the acting element, but for them to go, well, Sarah's my coach, but now I'm on a date with her, sometimes it was hard for them to switch.
Yeah, the separation of that between.
Yeah, so now I have the girls that do that and it works a lot better. And there's different
it's someone new.
Different types of women. And this is really important. So I've got this one client who just recently had his first 2 dates with one of the girls and he did really well. And, you know, he got, great feedback, but it was kind of easy. I don't know if this makes sense to you guys, but like it was easier for him. That personality, that kind of woman felt more comfortable for him.
Yeah.
So his second lot, I put him paired him with someone a little bit different, not as bubbly, not as like I'll laugh at everything you say. And he got really
rattled.
It's hard because it's intimidating.
Really, it
but
brought
you need
up
versatility too, though.
Yeah, you do, and that's the thing. You need to be adaptable as a man. You need to understand that not every woman will be the same.
Yes.
And so you have to shift it. Change gears, and that's where he's getting the most growth. Because now he's like, and.
That's really cool,
going
man.
to his therapist, okay?
Yeah.
Things come up. I'm like, look, I can't help you with that. I'm not qualified, but how's your therapist? And he does, and now he's taken that to his therapist and
awesome
worked
because
through
you can
it.
work through that while still maintaining the.
But see, that's another layer that you give that a lot of schools don't as well.
Yeah.
A lot of them won't even like approach that.
Which they need to because that's like fundamental to growth.
Yeah, like people come to you for dating advice and learning to be more confident. And on the surface, that is what it is, or they want more pussy, whatever it is that they come in with. But the reality is there's so much stuff going on there. And I, as we were just discussing before, I don't need to help them through that, but it may come up. And I always say, if it does, go and break that down with someone. Yeah. So
I think that's awesome.
Fuck yeah,
I really, really love that. Honestly.
Damn straight.
Yeah. Look, I think we touched on this before, but I do think the thing that gives you that extra edge as well is the way that you're able to deliver succinct and direct. It's I call it like the Australian thing, because there's not that many really good Australian coaches. anymore.
So true.
And you're able to give people really like full on advice that's like actually quite nice to
Candid
hear.
and helpful as well.
Yeah. And there was a couple of things that you kind of had in your reels and stuff. And I was like, wow, she's just said something that would like rattle most cunts. And but it's like you've delivered it in such a way that you're like, oh yeah, no, I've just got to start doing that more often. Where the fuck did that come from? Like, do you think it's just cultural?
I don't know. What are you kind of referring to?
Honestly, there was a few things where you were talking about, like, don't take this from a girl if she's doing that, and if she's doing this, it's her, not you. That sort of stuff. And then if you're getting this, then it's you. So you're able to like
differentiate between.
It's really hard to tell people that it's them. Okay, like especially if you're selling something to them.
Is it though?
Right. It's if you're trying to make a fucking business out of it, yes, very much so.
Yeah,
but people want that brutal honesty because it's rare. People are always trying to placate
do say that when they work,
and when you're placating, you're just
but it's
further
the way you deliver it, right?
Yeah, but you deliver it in both a soft but also a direct way. It's not blunt; it's direct.
Yeah, I think I learned it during my childhood. Like my dad would give me a lot of lectures to all of us kids. Like me, my older sister, my older brother.
How big is your family?
Just that's
Three.
it.
Three?
Yeah. 3. I'm the youngest, and for some reason, we just are all very emotionally. Like she's a psychologist as well, and my brother's in marketing. And
you've got the combo there.
Right. And I've always said we need a family business, but I think we'd do great. I'd handball all the clients to my psychologist sister. My brother would do the marketing, and then I would do the coaching and whatnot. But we all have this ability to be quite
direct.
very particular about how we say things, and we're very good at layering the feedback. And I felt like, my dad, as much as we wanted to pull our own, hair out because he'd lecture us and go around in circles, I think something rubbed off in those kind of sessions, if you will.
It was probably the feedback he was giving you.
The way that he was giving it.
It didn't make you too upset because he loves you, right? Like, so.
Yes.
There you go.
We'd hope
it's got to
go,
come
Dad.
Hey, it's got to come from your childhood, right? Like, where else is it going to come from? But then practice,
Mr. Jeavon.
Got to practice, and I think get yourself out there with lots of different people. And if you don't put yourself in situations where you mess up, how are you going to learn? So that's
absolutely.
I definitely did that as well.
No, that's awesome, and what a great way to learn as well.
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last bit that I have for my little kind of talking points, and I'll just do whatever I want from there. But how do you think COVID affected dating? Like, obviously, it changed it drastically because you didn't fucking see people. Was Adelaide as bad as Melbourne, where you couldn't actually go out and do anything?
No.
Were nightclubs closed?
Yeah, everything was closed, but I feel like Adelaide, we had a weird, different experience. Like, I feel
your clients are skewed kind of everywhere.
Yeah, mostly US, Australia, and then some Europe as well.
Yeah, and you were coaching through COVID?
Yeah, I was. I was actually I was selling a $15K USD package for not for my company, for another one, to run their online dating for them.
Wow,
like,
that's really
cool. They would be you.
Yeah.
And set up dates and send you through the dates. So we were still doing that and made like a lot of money during the peak of COVID. So I think my opinion on this is the fact that we are human and we will always seek connection. We will always find a way. And I'm so fucking sorry, but I reckon there's Melbourne people that definitely went against the law during that time.
Not even a question.
Or the pursuit of connection. We're social creatures. So as much as I think it affected it in some negative ways, it's made people realize how important it is. Because if we go down again and you're alone, what are you going to do? Like,
that's true. And so you have to adapt and change.
And a lot of people use that single couple bubble to meet with different people and to be able to connect in that way. So
we're having another baby boomers era with the COVID babies. Like, is that?
Oh my god, that's such a thing. It's fucking
my mates have
wild.
kids now. It's crazy.
But it was really the make or break
crazy.
moment. People either fucked and had babies or they fucked and broke up.
Or
agreed.
fucked and stayed together.
Yeah.
That's
Who broke up, man?
Hey, me too.
I don't even know how you managed to break up and like go through all of that during COVID. Like, that's impressive.
And now you started dating. And
that's why I found my psychologist very quickly. That's why.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's why we thank good psychs.
Good
psychs.
for sure. Yeah. Mark's a good man. He's a very good man.
Why do they have such generic names? Mine's Paul. Yours is Mark. Mark and Paul.
Well, I don't know. It's that age bracket,
basic
right? There's no
names.
He gets me.
He gets me. He understands.
He really
knows
does.
who I am. Yeah.
You put a lot of trust in them.
He does.
They can direct you anywhere they want.
Sites can fuck you up big time.
Yeah, for sure.
Thankfully, we have ethics and professional guidelines. But yes.
Yeah, true.
Seriously, we have to. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of cover today.
That was great.
Look, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, dude, you are a fucking
we're a vibe.
There is so much to cover.
Yeah.
100%.
There is, I know.
Um,
Scrape the surface. I think we did a pretty good job. So,
I think we
But
did
if people
ace.
want to find you, and I strongly recommend
Peep your
that you get on Sarah's
Insta.
program, Bevan and Hashi, please, for the love of God.
Dating with Sarah
Bevan.
official.
that's it.
That's
Your
Nailed
Insta's
it.
the easiest way to get onto your stuff. Yep.
Most active on there. You can
Yep.
email me if you're old school.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I know some people don't have socials. Like, why did
No,
you
these
give me that
motherfuckers
look?
do. Yeah,
like,
No.
email.
No, yeah, I did, didn't I? I was like, did I?
Dude,
Because I'm an
emails are the
IT
best
guy,
way to
and I was like, what the fuck,
communicate.
email?
What's wrong with an email?
There's nothing wrong
Someone
with an
reached out.
email.
I don't even know how they found me. Maybe through
Yeah.
YouTube, and they're like, you know, in the section where it says, "What's your social handle?" He says, "I don't have it." I'm like, "Huh,
Cool.
interesting."
How do you feel about that? So guys without social media, do you think they should get one ASAP? I think it's a red flag.
Yeah, look, I would agree 90%. Like, I
Yeah.
get, okay, if you've got legitimate reason why you don't do it, blah, blah,
But
blah.
that's also probably a red flag. It's a legitimate reason why you don't have it. It's
I
probably a
know,
problem.
I agree with you.
Right?
So it's tough. I feel cornered on this question, but I would.
I'm sorry.
I don't feel safe.
I blame you for not trying the
safe
wine.
Words,
That's why.
safe words. I did try the wine.
No, I'm kidding.
I
You
did try the wine.
There were
You just
sips.
weren't
There were
paying
two
attention.
sips that were had that I would.
Excuse me for
I want
running
to
a
be careful because
podcast.
you know
my
when you
fault.
have red wine, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
I just want to like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So that's what the thing is. No,
like, I get all like
understand,
kind of hot and like, you know, if I go home and have a glass of wine with somebody, it's like, oh,
What? That's
by
what
the
it
fire,
is.
like, I'm
yeah.
getting hot in here. You're getting hot. I'm getting hot.
See, I have the inverse
Well, it is pretty
problem.
hot with all
It
the
was hot
lighting.
in
you
here.
know?
Wine pushes me towards food, which is
Really?
yeah. So I
No,
just turn
but
into a
I-
fat man.
I understand that though, because I've noticed
Yes.
things. Dudes
My
bring red
hot-
wine and I'm like cheeks are flushed and then they're like,
Yes.
I'm ready to fuck.
Oysters and red wine.
No,
not
you
together.
lost me.
Not together.
Sorry,
Not at the
babes.
same time.
No.
Not at the same time, but I'm
Oysters
saying.
are just snot. So what I'm hearing is like stick your nose and eat it. No.
Anyway, coming back to email.
Just fucking reach out to her on social media, please.
Yeah,
Don't
please
email
do.
me.
Dating with Sarah official on Instagram.
Yes.
That's the way to go,
Or email
ideally.
me.
Or email. Because we're okay with old school.
All right, thanks guys. We love you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting, the car's cold.
Get the fuck out of here! What? Fucking warm it up. Get out of here!
You heard the man. Get out of here. Thanks for listening to Irrelevant Platitudes.